I'm tired. I really am. I haven't slept a whole lot because I've been thinking a lot. My heart's been heavy for a few days as I look at what's going on and trying to understand what's happening. I really am trying to understand. For instance, what are these protests all about? Is it about equal opportunity? Is it about police violence against blacks? Is it about Donald Trump? Is it about an obscure, misinterpreted verse in the national anthem? Is it white on black violence? Which is it? Because at this point, I've heard all of them. Now, trust me when I tell you that I want everyone in this country to have an equal opportunity. I also believe this is the only country in the world that honestly gives the opportunities that you and I so desire. I'd think that those who value opportunity the most would champion the symbols of the nation that provides it more than any other, not protest them. Why reject the freedom and equality those symbols truly represent? It doesn't make sense to me. Now, I've been told that my skin color makes me unable to understand the plight of someone with another skin color. I'm told that I can't perceive their lack of opportunity and profiling that happens because of pigmentations of the skin. And you're right, on that regard, I don't understand. Now, I know a lot of people with much darker skin tones than me that are far more accomplished and successful than I'll ever be. Knowing them the way I do, I'm fairly certain that it wasn't their skin color that got them to where they are. The successful folks I know busted their asses and made something out of their lives. And they'd be actually insulted if you insinuated that their success had simply been given to them. Now, these guys that are protesting on the professional football fields across America, they're successful. They're the absolute best. They are handsomely rewarded as a consequence. Should everybody have the same opportunity as them? I mean, what about the little guy in glasses that can't run and can't catch? Can he come play with you guys? No. Well, why not? You said everybody deserves an equal opportunity, but now you're telling me there's a qualification that must be met before the opportunity can be given. Shocker. Talent, gifting, ability, drive, work ethic, intelligence, skill. Maybe those things actually have something to do with success and opportunity more than skin color, but that's just a thought. You'll probably tell me I'm wrong. Now, as for the violence, let me start with my opinion. I don't want anybody hurt. I really don't. I don't know anybody that does. I know a lot of cops, and I've never heard a single one ever say anything racist. Not even anything that could be perceived or misconstrued as a microaggression. And I'll be honest, I've even tried to bait them to see that what they'd say that might demonstrate a bias against minorities. Nothing. Understand what I'm saying here. After speaking at countless conventions and banquets across this country filled with rooms of cops, black and white, that were dedicated to law enforcement, I've never once heard a single cop mention having any issues with or targeting someone on the basis of skin color. Maybe it's just me. Now, to listen to some folks talk, you'd think police officers were on the hunt and it's open season on African Americans. And that's not to say that tragic events haven't happened, but to say that this is an all-out war on blacks seems like strong language centered around an extremely false reality. So help me understand your point of view. I'm trying here, because right now I don't understand. Now look at the logic. Would you rather pull cops out of the most economically depressed and most violent communities of America? You want them gone? If they did, wouldn't you accuse them of abandoning those most in need? If cops are the problem, why not get them out of the communities with the most issues? Did the cops bring the problems to you? Or are the cops there because the problems already existed? Did the cops create the crime, or are they there because you call them in? I mean, let's be real. Maybe the multimillionaire pro football players can come protect your communities. I mean, let's stop play acting and start problem solving. That's what I want to do. Now, how about the numbers? Let's maybe start focusing on reality there. For instance, how many innocent unarmed blacks are being killed each year in America by cops? Are all those cops that do that white? Can you truly justify something as epidemic when 16 unarmed black men out of 20 million were killed by a cop last year? It's tragic. Yes, epidemic, no. The same number were struck by lightning. So, yes, this is just me sitting here trying to understand the outrage. I received a message last week from a man that said, I can't understand. He said, I'll never know what it's like to send my 12-year-old son out of the house not knowing if he'll get shot down because of the color of his skin. He said, I'll never have to give that talk to my sons. Well, sir, unless your 12-year-old son is headed out armed and looking for trouble on the streets and on his mind, then I'd say based on the math, there's only a 0.0000008% chance of him getting shot by a cop, and even less than that by a white one. The chance of him getting shot by another member of the community, however, is far greater. Maybe that's the talk you need to be giving. Now, the studies have shown that the numbers prove that blacks are not being targeted by police. You can argue that all you want. They are being Are they being brutalized by law enforcement? No. In fact, a black man has only an average of 0.32 contacts with police in a given year. The context of those encounters vary widely, and unfortunately, the media's coverage doesn't consider that. It seeks to fuel a false narrative, and you're buying into it. So I'm confused. I got pulled over 2 nights ago. Was I being targeted? No, I was driving 10 miles over the speed limit in my community. If I'd been doing something suspicious in my vehicle or acted like I was moving for a weapon or been belligerent, what do you think would have happened? You honestly think that the white cop would have just laughed it off and walked away because I'm a white man? I mean, chalk another win up to white privilege? The bottom line is this: I'm not a racist, and I have no intention of ever becoming one. I quite honestly don't have friends that wouldn't sit down to a meal with you or give you shelter in need. If one of my daughters introduced me to a boy she wanted to date, and I felt that he was respectful and a young man of conviction, character, and responsibility, and they both received my blessing regardless of the color of his skin, and that's the truth. Now, you might not like the truth that I'm stating in this commentary, and maybe it doesn't fit your script, but if you want to solve any of the problems that are out there, and yes, there are problems, it's necessary we define them correctly, and I don't think we're doing that. That makes my heart heavy. And as much as you don't want to believe it or admit it, you actually do need white guys like me that are willing to have this open dialogue. You need me to listen, and you need me to understand. So help me do that, because if you can help me and the many, many others like me understand what truly needs to be done, then I promise you we will lock arms. We will kneel, we'll march, advocate, contribute, donate, give, and sacrifice to make this country great for all our brothers and sisters. But we will never, and I mean never, do so at the expense of our flag, our military, and that anthem, because without those, none of us have the opportunity that we think we want. None whatsoever. I love y'all. God bless. Choose to believe it if you want to. But here's the Facebook poll.